Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Sotah. We are up to Perek Aleph Mishnah Chet. Today's Mishnayot should be Le'ilu Nishmat Neria ben Svetlana Ranbayev, Eliyahu ben Burcha Israel, Uvchana bat Miriam, Sason ben Raya, and Yehoshua ben Shifra, Menuchatam began Eden, Amen, and Le'avdi ben Chaim Lechaim v'derefua Shelema, Daniel Shalom ben Rosa, Betoch Shah Cholei Israel. The Mishnah discusses another punishment that was given measure for measure. Shimshon alach achar enav. Samson, Shimshon, followed his eyes when he chose a wife for her beauty, as it discusses in the book of Judges, Shoftim, chapter 14, verse 3. Lefikach nikru pelishtim et enav. Therefore the Pelishtim gouged out his eyes. Shenemar vayochazuhu pelishtim vaynakru et enav. As it's stated in the book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 21, the Pelishtim grabbed him and gouged out his eyes. Other examples are found in the story of Avshalom, a son of King David, who rebelled against his father but was eventually defeated. Avshalom nitga bisaro. Avshalom was proud of his long hair. Lefikach nitla bisaro. Therefore he was suspended by his hair in the battle against his father. As Avshalom was riding a mule under the branches of a large elm tree, his long hair became entangled in them. His mule went on, leaving him suspended in the air. Ulfi shebal eser pilagshe aviv. Because Avshalom lived with 10 concubines of his father, therefore 10 spears were thrust into him. Shneemar vayasobu asara ne'arim nosei klei Yoav vayaku et Avshalom vayimituhu. As it is stated in the book of Samuel, book 2, chapter 18, verse 15, 10 soldiers, bearers of Yoav's army, circled around and struck Avshalom and killed him. When Yoav, the general of King David's army, found Avshalom dangling from the tree, he thrust 3 darts into Avshalom's heart, but that did not kill him. Yoav's armor bearers then came and killed him with their spears. Because he stole, he deceived 3 hearts: the heart of his father, the heart of the court, and the heart of Israel. Shneemar, as it is stated, Avshalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. Avshalom asked his father, King David, for a letter giving him the right to choose any 2 men to be at his service. Using the letter, which had the authority of the king, Avshalom appointed pair after pair of the most respected people in the country, chief judges of courts. By telling each pair that they were his choice, he continued until he had 200 judges under his command. In this way, Avshalom deceived his father and the judges of the courts. Avshalom deceived the people by telling them that he was the only one who really cared about them, as it relates in the book of Shmuel. Lefikach nitkiu bo 3 shvatim. Therefore 3 darts were thrust into him. Shenemar, as it is stated, Vaikach 3 shvatim bekapo vayitkaem belev Avshalom. Yoav took 3 darts in his hand and thrust them into Avshalom's heart. And that is the end of Mishnah Chet. Mishnah Tet gives examples of rewards that were given measure for measure. And the same is true of the good, meaning the reward that a person receives reflects the good that he did. The reward for a good deed is greater than the deed, because God's measure for rewarding a person is larger than the measure he uses for punishment. For example, Miriam hitmina leMoshe sha'achat. Miriam imtina leMoshe sha'achat. Miriam waited 1 hour for her baby brother Moshe when he was in a basket in the river. Shenemar, as it says in Shemot, chapter 2, verse 4, Vatetatzav achoto merachok. His sister stood at a distance to know what will be done with him. Lefikach nitakvu la Yisrael shiva yamim b'midbar. Therefore, the entire nation of Israel waited for her 7 days in the wilderness when she was suffering from tzarat. Shenemar, as it is stated in Bamidbar, chapter 12, verse 15, Va'am lo nasa ade asef Miriam. And the nation did not travel until Miriam was brought in. Miriam's reward was greater than her deed, for she waited only 1 hour, whereas they waited 7 days. Another example, Yosef zachal ikbor et aviv ve'en be'echav gadol mimenu. Yosef merited to bury his father Yaakov, although none of his brothers was greater than him. Although Yosef was the governor of Egypt, it was he who buried Yaakov. Shenemar, as is stated in the verse in Bereshit, chapter 50, verse 7 and 9, Vayal Yosef likbor et aviv, vayal imo gam rechav gam parashim. Yosef went up to bury his father, and with him went up both chariots and horsemen. Milanu gadol mi Yosef shoni tesak bo ela Moshe. Yosef was rewarded in kind, for who was treated with greater honor than Yosef, in that none other than Moshe attended to him. Since Yosef buried his father, he was rewarded by having none other than Moshe carry his remains out of Egypt, as is stated in Shemot chapter 13, verse 19. Moshe was also rewarded measure for measure. Moshe zacha be'atzmot Yosef ben b'Yisrael gadol mimenu. Moshe merited to carry the bones of Yosef out of Egypt, although none in Israel was greater than him. Shneimar, as it says in Shemot chapter 13, verse 19, V'ekach Moshe et etzmot Yosef imo. Moshe took the bones of Yosef with him. Mi gadol mi Moshe shon tasak bo el hamakom, and he too was rewarded in kind, for who was treated with greater honor than Moshe, and that none other than Hashem, the Almighty, attended to him. Shneimar, as it says in Sefer Dvarim, chapter 34, verse 6, V'ikbo oto bagai. God buried him in the valley. And the Mishnah concludes that to some degree, the Almighty attends to every righteous person who dies. V'lo al Moshe bilvad amru. And they said this, that the Almighty attended to him, not only regarding Moshe, el al kol tzaddikim, but also regarding all of the righteous. Shneimar, says in Yeshaya, chapter 58, verse 8, V'alach lefanecha tzidkecha kivod Adonai yasvecha. Your righteousness shall go before you, and the glory of Hashem shall gather you in. In the case of Moshe, God attended to both his body and soul, but in the case of other righteous people, God gathers in the soul, while people bury the body. And that is the Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.